are now in tune with Mamba Radio.
Drop top. Hit me. Drop top. Drop top. Dollar sign. I know you love it. I know you love it. Kissing and touching when we in public. I know you love it. That pussy feel like drop top in the rain. Whoa, whoa, drop top in the rain. Whoa, whoa, drop top in the rain. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Drop top in the rain. How about drop top? Won't stop, ball out. Put it in deep end. Soon as I seen it, even with no regret. I just wanna see you on a bed, leg spread, yeah. I just wanna see you on a bed, leg spread. I know you love it, I know you love it. Kissing and touching when we in public. I know you love it. That pussy feel like drop top in the rain. Whoa, whoa, drop top in the rain. Whoa, whoa, drop top in the rain. Oh yeah, drop top in the rain.
Let me get sold up, I get you pulled up. Shopping inside, baby, I know we going up. Oh yeah, top down in the red. You so freaking girl, I see you. Keep it on this, drop it on me, oh. I just wanna see you naked.
Pussy feel like drop top in the rain. Whoa, whoa, drop top in the rain. Whoa, whoa, drop top in the rain. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Drop top in the rain.
All right, what up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to BM690 Brown Mama Radio. For those of you out there who don't know, my name is Jackson. And hope you guys all had fun, safe, and responsible Halloween weekend this past weekend, whether you went to any kind of parties, or you went to Camp Flog Gnaw, or Escape, or whatever you guys did. Like I said, hope you guys had fun, responsible, and a safe time, all right? So, because I know I did. But yeah, anyway, so... gonna get into this episode. Quickly gonna go over the sports stuff before I get into what I really want to talk about. I'm just gonna do a quick fantasy update first, right off the bat. Split this week in football. Did really well in my family league. I'm still in second place. Derek Carr's playing well. Shout out to the Baltimore Ravens defense. They did really well. And also big up to Ezekiel Elliott. Even though it looks like he's probably going to be done for the rest of the year with him being suspended. But that just means, I got to have other guys step up. It was a bye week for a lot of my top receivers, so I'm going to go ahead and throw those guys back in there, and hopefully we can turn things around and keep this ball rolling. However, things aren't looking so good for my my other league with my friends. Man, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what to say anymore about Cam Newton. is, or that Carolina offense, it's just not good. I mean, it's just the only way to put it. It's not good at all. He didn't do well. Mike Evans didn't do. No one did well at all, actually. Even Gronk had the most point. Gronk had the most points for me, and he only had 16 points. So puts that into perspective. So yeah, not looking too good. I'm in last place. Gonna get the Sacco in my league, it looks like. But hey, them's the breaks. That's how it goes. So going from good news to bad news, back on over to good news. I'm still in first place in both my fantasy basketball leagues, which is good. Great, if you will. So happy about that. All my guys are stepping up. Like I said in the beginning, I really, really, really like both my teams. I feel that my team is very well balanced, and it checks off, all the boxes that you need. Also, I've never had LeBron on any of my teams before, so shout out to you, LeBron. It is very fun to have you on my basketball team. In the last 7 days, you had 97 points, 25 rebounds, 41 assists. Jesus. Five steals, 4 blocks, and only 18 turnovers. You've been playing. You're a 6'9" guy playing power forward. So, thank you to you. Shout out to you. And shout out to everybody else on both my fantasy basketball teams. You guys have been killing it. Like I said, it's still early in the week. I'm down in both my leagues right now, but like I said, happy with where I'm at in basketball. Not so happy in football. Whatever. Like I said, I got a good chance of winning one of my leagues, which is fine because considering I've never won in my almost 10 years of playing fantasy basketball or fantasy sports, mainly football. I never actually won anything. So I've gotten like second, third before and stuff like that, but never won the whole thing. So it'd be great to finally get a chance to get that going, and hopefully take home the crown for both my basketball leagues too. That'd be great. So that was a wrap up on the fantasy stuff. But now I want to get into some bigger sports, mainly the World Series. I'm coming at it from a Dodgers fan perspective because I am a Dodger fan. However, regardless of who wins this series between the Dodgers and the Astros, this might go down as the best World Series ever. And that is no hyperbole if you've been watching these games. It's just great hitting. Probably the best offensive World Series, at least in recent memory to me. I'm still relatively young, but I know a lot of older guys out there are talking about how they've never seen anything like this before. And it's just unreal. Just if you're a young fan, or if you're a young kid, or if you're a parent who has a young kid who, over the last few years hasn't, really liked baseball because they say it's too boring or too slow or too this or too that, please, I hope you're sitting them down and showing them this World Series, because we need more kids to love baseball now, the way that I did when I grew up, in the way that kids in the past have grown up. I'm not a big fan of the whole, I like to keep things the way they were in some things, but I'm always a big fan of change and stuff like that. But one thing that I don't want to see change is the love for a sport die out the way that it's kind of has in the last 10, 15 years. But yeah, enough for that sentimental stuff. Parents, please show your kids these games. Please go back and watch it with them or something. But I hope you're showing them the games, because this is the best combination of hitting and pitching that I've ever seen. Any little mistake these guys are capitalizing on, whether it's the pitchers making bad pitches, as we've seen with Kershaw, the best pitcher in the game can make mistakes, and that's how good these Astros are. They're capitalizing on it, and vice versa. Dallas Keuchel's their ace. So is they have Verlander too. They've been pitching so well, but once they make those little mistakes, the Dodgers have been able to capitalize on it. So, it's a great combination of starting pitching and just great hitting. But both bullpens have been struggling, and I can't keep saying it enough. I tell all my friends and stuff like that. But we talk at the bars or whatever. We're just having some drinks and stuff like that. The Dodgers bullpen is so much more disappointing than the Astros, because that's all they were just the talk of the whole postseason was how good the Dodgers bullpen is and how good they're this and that and all these numbers and stuff. And yes, they are good. They have, and deservedly so, but they have not fully shown the world what they've done all season long. And everyone knew that the Astros had trouble in their bullpen, but they're the ones who have been, really stepping it up. What's his name? That guy, like Nevovich or whatever his name is. He is just that dude. You want to talk about intensity? That dude is the definition of intensity. And I hate to do this. I really, really do. But I mean, everyone's trying to find out why the Dodgers are winning and why they're this and that with the bullpen on the bullpen. What's wrong with the bullpen right now is Kenley Jansen. And don't get me, trust me, I love Kenley. I love Kenleywood or California, all that stuff. I mean, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Kenley Jansen. I understand that. But in these World Series, Kenley is looking like a shell of himself. Even when he got the win, or he closed it out in Game 5, he gave up a home run first. I mean, he has just not been dialed in. These guys have his number. And, I don't care. I really don't if, they bring him in to get 6 outs. Like, people are saying, that's too many. It's like, you know what? People are trying to criticize Dave Roberts, calling him he's stupid and he's playing too cute and he didn't do this and do that. It got him this far for a reason. He's sticking to the game plan. Yeah, it's not the traditional way of just throwing your ace out there for the whole, game or whatever until he tires out. But it's been working. And the only reason people are saying it's stupid is because it's not working. But no one said it wasn't working when it got them the 103 regular season wins. And so, the problem, it just comes down to, it comes down to execution of the game plan. And the Dodgers have not been doing that. Mainly Kenley Jansen. How many times has he come in and just gotten hit and shelled and just, and not even like pop up, like hard hit balls too. Like what, 2 blown saves? 3 blown saves in the World Series already? I know it's at least 2. He had like maybe 2 all season long, and he's at 2 right now. And that's not taking away from how good these Astros are, because this is showing you how good they are offensively. Because they can take advantage, and they are making the best closer in baseball right now look weak and look like he's just a regular run-of-the-muck guy. When if all you do is go back and look at the numbers, Kenley Jansen is not. And yeah, that's it for my soapbox on how the Dodgers and Kenley's been doing and all that. But damn it, this World Series is really, really, really freaking good. Can't wait for the game tonight. I'm going to be rooting for them, cheering them on, and I'm hoping for that Game 7. But yeah, I think I've gone on long enough. Excuse me. So yeah, I guess I should go on to the next song already. I'm about to get this next song going for you guys, and it's a little teaser for what I'm about to talk about next. So if you haven't figured it out, or I'll let you try and figure it out while you play this song for you guys, and enjoy.
Darling, you got to let me know. Should I stay or should I go? If you say that you are mine, I'll be here till the end of time. So you got to let me know. Should I stay or should I go? It's always tease, tease, tease. You're happy when I'm on my knees. One day it's fine and next it's black. So if you want me off your back, well come on and let me know. Should I stay or should I go? Should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now? If I go there will be trouble, and if I stay it will be double. So come on and let me know. This indecision's bugging me. Decision may molest. If you don't want me, set me free. Exactly whom I'm supposed to be. Don't you know which clothes even fit me? Come on and let me know. Should I cool it or should I blow? Should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now? If I go there will be trouble, and if I stay it will be double. So you gotta let me know. Should I cool it or should I blow? Should I stay or should I go now?
Whew. All right, so in case you didn't figure it out, that was Should I Stay or Should I Go by The Clash. And also forgot to mention the first song. It was Drop Top in the Rain by Ty Dolla $ign off his new Beach House 3. Go get that shit. That shit is fire. But yes, that was Should I Stay or Should I Go by The Clash. And if you didn't put together the pieces onto why I played that song, it's because I'm talking Stranger Things. Stranger Things 2 to be exact. I stayed up all night last night watching it. So I am pretty tired. That's why I sound the way I do. I should have mentioned that earlier, or apologize for my voice sounding a little bit more hoarse or something like that. But yeah, I stayed up all night last night watching Stranger Things 2. Caught the first couple episodes the night before, but I was like, I'm gonna knock all these things out right now. And so, before I get into it, I want to warn all you listeners out there that some spoilers are ahead. So you have been warned. This is your chance to stop listening now. Go, and if you haven't watched all of it, maybe check back here in about 9 hours or so. That's how long this series will take. And if you've been already, been watching some, go ahead and finish it. Come back here, and then we can talk about it together. We can, maybe you can listen and agree with me or disagree, whichever you want to do. But yeah, so it's not going to be a full-on like summary or synopsis or anything. It's just my little opinions and stuff I liked and stuff like that from the whole series. So again, spoilers ahead. You have been warned. I will give you a couple seconds or so to turn this off and come back with me later. All right, now if you're still here with me, I'm assuming that you have finished all 9 episodes of Stranger Things 2. And it's not this isn't some groundbreaking journalism or analysis here, but it was pretty freaking good. I don't know about you, but I really, really liked it. obviously the kids are the stars here. Kids are really the stars. Even though everybody put on a great performance, the kids, man, those kids are so damn good. And especially, I like how we got to see how good Will of an actor Will is. Sorry, I'm gonna look up his real name. I want to big him up on his real name, but just because in the first one, he went to the Upside Down, and we didn't really get a chance to see his full potential of acting. Noah Schnapp. Yeah, so he did really, really well. It was mainly it was mainly Eleven, Dustin, Mike, and Lucas who we focused on in the first Stranger Things. But this one, I really like how they got to show how good of an actor he is, both physically with all the physical stuff that he had to do, if you know what I mean, for all you people who've seen it out there, as well as just traditional dialogue and all that stuff too. Really, really good. So happy that we got to see that. And yeah, like I said, it was just really, really good. I really liked how they. Okay, here, let me rephrase it. So some of the stuff I've been seeing and heard people talk about with Stranger Things. I didn't listen to too much or watch too much because I don't want to ruin it for me. But one of the things is a lot of people are saying that the whole binge watching thing is getting a little too overdone and this and that. And they should have done it more like Game of Thrones. It made it maybe like a weekly thing to keep the water cool talking going. And I get that. Trust me, I do. But I really like how they released all of it, and they really made it feel like an actual throwback sequel, like the kind we used to get, where it was like the Karate Kid 2, or or stuff like that. You know what I mean? Where it's like it's just the same thing but 2 to it. Obviously, with Stranger Things and Stranger Things 2, because it's just a continuation of the story, and that's part of the whole thing, or the part of its whole gimmick, is it's using nostalgia, and it's using it in the most perfect way. I've been trying to get my parents to watch this, to watch Stranger Things, and I told them how well they use nostalgia, where it's definitely a gimmick, but it's not the whole gimmick. Like, the nostalgia is just one of the selling points, but it's the reason why people are so invested in this is because the story's great, the acting's great. And you buy in and all that stuff. It's not like a lot of these rehashings of things that were, we remember when we were kids, and I want to watch that for a little bit, but it's like the actual quality of the content isn't good. So I like how they did that, also because the Duffer Brothers are just using the Netflix platform, and dividing it up into 9 episodes. Because they're just essentially what this is, and then what both Stranger Things 1 and Stranger Things 2 are just really, really long movies, and they didn't, you're not going to sit in a theater for 9 hours, obviously, but if you break that up and make it into 9 episodes, 45 to 60-minute episodes, boom, you're golden. And that's what I guess the model is nowadays. And if it was like Game of Thrones, where it's every week, then it would have just felt like another TV show. But that's not why people want to watch this, because it feels like an old movie that they don't remember. Oh, they remember when they were kids and stuff like that. So big up to them. I really like how they stuck to that format. They're sticking to their guns, and they're really, whether it's the cameras and the post-production stuff they do to give it that vintage feel or that nostalgic feel, down to the music, which they just nail perfectly, even all the way down to how they really what I really liked from it was how they really instilled a sense of paranoia and red fear and stuff like that from Russia, from the Cold War. Because in the first episode, they really try to set the tone, like, hey, this is around the mid-'80s now. things are starting to get real tense, between us and the Soviets. Back then that's what they would all say, and the Russians and all that stuff. And if you're watching it without any context of that, and it seemed like it was really overblown, that's because in the 80s it really was like that. I obviously was not born in the 80s. I am not that old. However, I did go to school. I did take history and all that stuff. And, that the Red Scare and Red Fear, that was real in the 80s, man. That was in the 70s. But, the height of the Cold War in the 80s, it was a lot of paranoia going on. And, they really, really captured it. And I kind of like how they did it. I guess for the people who weren't catching it, and I get it. Who's that? The what's his name? I'm trying to find his name. He is the that guy Murray, the conspiracy theorist guy who had the robe and the alcohol and all that stuff, and he needed a thing and all that. I like his character was just the vessel to explain. I think I like how he explained everything so well without it being too directly like explaining, the philosophy and the ideology and the reason why they made the show the way they did. Because that's really what it comes down to. What's going on, especially in that time, there were so many conspiracy theories on like the space race and who has weapons of mass destruction, who's gonna attack who, and all the bomb testings. All this stuff was going on, but nobody wanted to peek behind the curtain, and they all just were, especially and it's perfect how they said it in this little town of Hancock, and so it instills that whole thing where it's like this, the normal conservative middle America town who always follows order. They always follow instruction. They trust their leaders, and that's how the adults are. And I like how they use the kids are the ones who are saying, well, why do we have to believe them? They're, why should we believe them all the time? Even if they tell us that they're protecting us, why should we have to believe them? And I really like how they're able to capture that in the first season, and then in this season, being able to explain that for people who don't understand that, who aren't getting it. Because I know a lot of people. I tried to explain it to people, and they couldn't get it. Because, like I said, they just didn't know, and that's okay. That's what that guy's character was for, was to explain it for them. But like I said, I really like how they did that. It added an extra level of intensity to everything. But so yeah, before I start rambling on a little bit too much on that, I had some concerns going into it. Not like some stuff I heard, but just like it's I knew it was gonna be a year ahead, and the kids. So that means the kids are getting older, and they are obviously like adolescents, and I was just going into it. I guess concerned is the wrong word. I was just wondering and hoping they would do a good job with it. Spoiler alert, they did. On dealing with their puberty, and how them growing up, and their possible love stories, because we obviously saw that Mike and 11 had a special bond, and Mike really did love her, and but in that innocent way. And I was hoping that, and I knew they were going to do fine, but I was just, my thing is like, I hope they get it right. I'm sure they will. And other things, like, and I also thought, hopefully they don't overexpose the monsters, because part of what gave it that mystique and that lure, of the Demogorgon, or whatever they want to call it, was that you couldn't see it, that for a long time you didn't really see it, and you didn't see it till the last couple episodes, and that's when it was scary. And then same thing with like Justice for Barb. I'm like, please, like, don't do something stupid where like they like magically bring her back, or something like that. Which would be cool, but it'd be kind of like, it'd be a reach, if you know what I mean. But like I said, they nailed everything perfectly. with them being in middle school now, that as someone who was formerly in middle school myself, they really nailed the element of feeling insecure about going from 5th grade to 6th grade, being around older kids and stuff like that, and having to go to school dances and talking to girls, and just being uncomfortable with all those situations and stuff like that. But they nailed it perfectly, and they kept it innocent, which is what I really like, especially because nowadays everything is so gratuitous and graphic and stuff like that nowadays, especially pertaining to sexuality and stuff, which I'm not going to lie, if you do it right, it's fine. But like I said, when something that's set in the 80s, a more conservative time, especially with teenagers or not even teenagers yet, I really like how they kept it nice and innocent, especially with the love stories. You know what I mean? Like I said, spoiler alert. With Mike and Elle at the end, and even with Lucas and Mad Max, I like how they did that too. And then with the monsters, it was, at first I was like, oh man, they're doing too much. But what they did was, they did it perfectly, because although they did make a lot of the Demogorgons and the Demodogs, or whatever the hell you want to call them, they replaced the one thing that they saw with an even scarier monster, who's actually the one that controls them. So which was a perfect way to do it, where it's like, this thing is so scary, but it's actually not scary in compared to what's controlling it. So even though they technically did overexpose and make all the Demogorgons and stuff everywhere, they introduced us to a new, even scarier character that we're supposed to be even more afraid of. So that was good. Like I said, they nailed that perfectly. And then with the Barb, they literally got justice for Barb, which is great. Like I said, I'm glad they didn't just do some weird magic shit to bring her back. But yeah, they really just these guys know what the fuck they're doing, man. They're really, really, really nailing it. They're just making a great show. And I also like how even of course they had to introduce new characters, but how each one of them had a new or they tied into the story so well, and they're even teasing or even leaving us with some cliffhangers looking ahead for season 3. I'm assuming there is a season 3, and I'm pretty sure there will be. I'll get to that stuff later, but like I said, I really like how the new characters introduced all played key roles, whether it was Bob, who I cracked up when I saw it with Sean Astin, just because I mean, that's Rudy, that's the steroid brother from 50 First Dates, but Sean Astin, that was funny. And then he's, what's his name, from The Hobbit and all that stuff. But I mean, as soon as I saw him come on the screen and he was playing the goody two shoes guy, I was like, damn it, man, he's gonna die somehow. And he died heroically, the way that I'm sure we all thought he was going to. So that was good. I cracked up seeing Kai Green in there. For those of you who don't know, he was the big black guy who was in the band of outcasts, I guess you would call it, with Eleven's sister. Who, boom, another big freaking spoiler thing. That was crazy. You know what I mean? That she had a sister. But which is a segue into another thing. But I wrote in my little show notes, because I'm such a big radio guy. They what's it called? Sorry. Before I go into the with the sister and what that means what I think that means looking ahead, I skipped over what I really, really liked was how they took arguably the most likable character from season 1 in Dustin, or his real name, Gaten, Matarazzo, but Dusty was arguably the most likable character from season 1. You know, the missing teeth, he was adorable, and he had the smile, all that. I get it. And he was funny, and I get that. Arguably, he stole the show. But I really liked how they used him to be the most hated, arguably the most hated character for a little bit. Or it tore at you inside to want to hate him for hiding Dart and not telling the guys, and potentially causing a lot of trouble or potentially putting everybody in danger. I really like how they did that, because it really at least for me, it tore at me. I was like, damn it, man, I really want to hate him. And I did hate him for a little bit. Not like hate him, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I really like how they used the most likable guy, because they could have used Mike, who was, in his own ways, hateable because he was so rude to Max and stuff like that, and Lucas. But they had to use Lucas for the love story with Mad Max, and it was just kind of a perfect culmination of everything. But I really like how they did that, and then they just put a nice big bow on it at the end, where it actually worked out for them in the end, and he recognized that it was D'Artagnan, and D'Artagnan recognized him, and everything all worked out in the end. I like that. I like how that was nice. That was really nice. But yeah, so looking ahead, I mean, I'm assuming that there's going to be season 3. I don't know why they wouldn't, unless they just don't like money anymore for whatever reason. But it obviously can't be the end, because they didn't actually defeat the monster. They just closed the gate, as we saw at the very end when they flipped it upside down. The monster's still there, trying to get them. It's just the gate's closed, at least for now, for what we think is. At least that's what we think. So we'll have to wait and see on that. We'll have to see I wonder how they're going to work that into it. And then, another thing, speaking of the sister, I'm going to look up her name. Damn it, I can't remember her name. 11's sister, there we go. I guess she never had a name, huh? Okay. Alright, so, 11's sister, damn it, I don't remember her name. Sorry, it was late, like I said, and I didn't get very much sleep. It's from it. But anyway, I guess they can do that going forward is what to make of her sister, and after they did their thing together, when 11 left and said, I have to help my friends, and they had that little scene where she's looking in the window and she's thinking like, damn, am I doing this all wrong too? She had that kind of moment, and maybe she can go to help 11. Maybe we'll follow her a little bit more, because if she's out there, there might be another one too. Who knows? There might be other ones out there. There could be. So I'm interested to see what they'll do with 11's sister, or Jane's sister, excuse me. And speaking of her name, Jane, maybe I wonder if they're going to try to incorporate 11 trying to save her mom, because she's now stuck in that eternal loop of that memory, which was horrible. For anyone who saw it, that's got to be the worst thing, having to relive that moment of your life every single day, just being trapped there. So maybe they can have, and then also, obviously, the mom is still there somehow. She's just not there in the physical body of it being on Earth, but she's somewhere there because 11 was able to communicate with her through the lights in the room. So maybe they'll figure something out, how to do something with that. Not 100% sure. And then, I forgot to mention, speaking new characters, clearly there's more to the new cool guy or douchebag dude, the guy Billy. Clearly there's more to him, and I think they're going to go into that a little bit more in season 3 if they do it. But I hate to say it, like, I liked because it was horrible, and he was not a nice guy, at least kind of. But I really like how they built him up. You know, he came in as the new douchebag, cool guy, whatever, that all the chicks dig and whatever, and he's really aggressive and this and that. But then when he becomes a dickhead to his sister or his stepsister, you're like, man, fuck this guy. You know what I mean? That's what I thought. Man, fuck this guy, whatever. But we find out it's just an extension of the domestic violence he faces from his dad at home. And how they're showing how, you know, how destructive of a cycle that is. And, you know, not only just the violence, but the possible racism and bigotry that's going on with it. For when he would pick her up from school, and he would see that she was hanging out with Lucas, who is black. And she's like, we don't hang out with people like that and stuff like that. And they did it in a way where it was vague enough where it's like, okay, is it because he's a new guy and she's new, or he's a different kid and she's new? Is it because he's a boy? Is it because he's a nerd? Or is it because he's black? They don't specifically say. But then when the dad, when we see the dad actually beating him or hitting him and abusing him, you know, and calling him, sorry for all you out there, he called him a faggot, called him an F word. I can't say F word, there's a bunch of F words, but he called him a faggot. It really, like I said, it was powerful enough to show that the violence that he's portraying, or he is getting out, is just an extension of the violence that he receives from his dad, and he has no other way to release it, and how deadly of a cycle that is. And I like how they did that, because to show us that. And then when we see it's wrong. Everyone knows it's wrong, but that's how it was, and that's how it still is in some places. And hopefully things like that can change, because the less thing we need nowadays, not to get all political, is more bigots around here and stuff like that. Especially right now, given how things are going in this country. But enough of that. It's all about Stranger Things, and what I think is going to happen in the next one. You know, I'm just curious to see. You know, they did a good job with how they did the love stories between the kids now. I'm just interested to see how they'll do it going forward. They're going to get older. The hormones are going to be flying around, everything like that. We'll just have to wait and see how things go. You know, with Mike and 11. I mean, those guys really, really nailed the innocence of their love and how pure and true it is. Where it's just like that. You know, the whole thing where they say, like, when you're really in love with someone, they're your best friend. And, you know, that's the sense you get. And that's the sense that's what you feel between Mike and 11. It's that their love is deeper than just, you know, not to sound weird or anything right now, but, you know, sometimes for people, love is just sexual, or it's just, you know, it's just lustful, and it's really surface only. But theirs, it goes way deeper than that. And they, like I said, they really captured that, like in the most emotional, perfect way. Same thing with Jonathan and Nancy, with them getting older and stuff like that. We'll see how that goes. And I like how they did the thing with Lucas and Max, giving an interracial thing, especially in a middle America town, small middle America town. Black guy, white girl. It's like I said, that's, you know, nowadays that seems, yeah, whatever, dude, like, who cares? But like back then, that's something, it was different. It was definitely different. So I like how they're going with that direction. And I hope that they continue to, you know, have their love stories grow, because I mean, that's, like I said, even though in the first one I was like, okay, maybe they shouldn't, or I'll see how they handle it. When you get older and they're going closer to high school, like that stuff, you know, it's definitely a part of growing up. Definitely part of growing up. So, yeah, definitely excited to see how it goes. And again, just great season. I'm definitely going to be rewatching it again, just to see if I miss anything, and do those, oh, see, I knew it, oh, I shouldn't have, that kind of stuff, or they were like little Easter eggs and stuff like that, where, oh man, see, that was the huge foreshadowing right there and stuff. So I'm definitely going to be getting to it, but for now I'm going to be taking a break because I'm very tired, very very tired. So I'm definitely going to have to get out of here now. I think I've rambled on about Stranger Things enough. If you haven't seen it yet, please go watch it. It's very, very good. And if you have, I know you know how good it is, so tell everybody to watch it too. And speaking of watching, thank you for watching and listening however you are. You guys know I always love, I can't thank you guys enough for all you guys out there listening. So make sure you guys subscribe and follow, tell a friend, all that stuff, and make sure you, like I said, if you follow along on Instagram, you can follow me at Brown Mamba Radio, all one word. Look that up. You can follow me, excuse me, on iTunes and SoundCloud. Same thing, Brown Mamba Radio. And then all my stuff, all my content's posted on brownmamba.us. It's all my whether it's these podcast radio shows, it's music I like. I have like a little music bar on there that I play a lot of music I like, so you can check that out. And there's other stuff I post too, because I essentially link my my website to my Instagram, so all the stuff that I post on the Instagram gets posted there. It's like photo edits, art stuff that I do, and just other stuff that I like and all that stuff. So make sure you check that out at brownmamba.us. And yeah, again, just thanks for all the support and stuff, you guys. And for all you guys out there who are celebrating Halloween tonight, make sure you guys have a safe and fun and responsible Halloween. Whether you're trick-or-treating, parents, please, put glow sticks around your kids, or make sure that they're safe and keep your eyes on them at all times. Put the phone down for a little bit, and keep an eye out on your kids, especially when it's dark out. And if you were old enough or of age to party, because that's the only thing we're doing on here, we're promoting of ageness and partying responsibly. If you're going to be partying or doing anything like that, like I said, please party responsibly. Please be safe. Don't drink and drive. Call Uber, or don't do any substance and drive. Call Uber, call friends, designated driver, any of that stuff. Please be responsible. Please be safe, because we got those kids out there, like I said, who are trick-or-treating and stuff like that. And a happy Reformation Day for all those who celebrate that. And also big up, go Dodgers. We need all the support we can get. So go Dodgers. And Dodgers in 7. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.